So today's conversation is centered around Tasha K. Today we're also diving into Clarissa Shields. And yes, we've got to talk about Papoose too, you guys. Recently, Tasha K popped up on another YouTube platform, and trust me, a few things said in that interview definitely raised eyebrows. We need to break down exactly what happened during that sit-down and why people are talking about it. Now, the interesting part is that she only spent a few minutes actually speaking about Clarissa Shields, because the full interview itself ran somewhere around 47 minutes. As many of you already know, there's been a long-running back and forth between Clarissa Shields and Tasha K, and the tension hasn't exactly cooled down. And from the looks of things, if Clarissa keeps pressing the issue publicly, Tasha K seems ready to keep reporting on Clarissa every single day and twice on Sunday if the drama keeps coming. So to set the scene, the conversation started off casually about family and other topics before shifting gears into women's boxing, where Clarissa Shields has famously declared herself the face of the sport. With that context in mind, let's go ahead and listen to this specific portion of the interview. Hold up, so you're basically saying you want me as family, like a brother-in-law type situation. But seriously though, that Clarissa Shields fight, that was a real fight. Did you actually watch it? Nah, I only caught the highlights. I didn't sit through the entire fight from start to finish. But yeah, I definitely saw the clips that were circulating online. Same here. I didn't watch every round either. But from what I saw, it honestly looked like both fighters were giving each other serious work in that ring. No doubt about it. But at one point, the opponent started looking a little unsteady. You could tell she was getting rattled. Yeah, and that's exactly when Clarissa really turned things up. She didn't even look fazed, like she could keep going round after round, pound for pound. Exactly. You know what I mean. Yeah, she really handled business out there. And by the way, she's gorgeous too. Big shout out to Clarissa. I'm just saying though, I don't really like how Papoose was out there trying to steal the spotlight during her moment. Wow. Yeah, I might have to protest that energy. It was all right there on camera, right there in the footage. Trying to start something during the press conference at the weigh-in like that? Who exactly was he trying to square up with? Because that woman looked like she could seriously handle herself. Papoose. Her opponent, what was her name again? Jason? What was the opponent's name? Fred? Yeah, I don't even remember her name, honestly. I mainly follow boxing for Clarissa, but I will say this, that opponent looked strong. She definitely looked strong. You could tell she had real power. I was surprised though. I didn't expect someone built like that to be boxing like that, but clearly she had strength. But listen, she had serious back strength too, and people might laugh about that, but athletes like that carry a lot of power. Some folks joke about women having back rolls, but honestly, that's just body support and muscle working together. Still though, I was thinking her reach looked a little limited. It almost seemed like her frame made it harder to extend punches cleanly. Meanwhile, Clarissa had a lot more space and reach to work with. It's kind of like a weird science when you break it down. Yeah? But regardless of all that, Clarissa really showed up and did her thing. But the part that had people talking was Papoose standing out there acting like he was ready to fight somebody.
I was sitting there thinking, is he really about to get himself knocked out on that stage? Because if things went left, Clarissa might have had to step in and rescue him. All I noticed was him standing there smiling, almost like he was enjoying every second of it. Honestly, it looks like he gets a kick out of the fact that his woman is a fighter. But let's be real for a second. I think he's enjoying the attention more than anything. It almost feels like he jumped from the spotlight he had with Remy Ma on Love and Hip Hop straight into Clarissa's spotlight. Because remember, before all this drama, people weren't really seeing him publicly checking for Clarissa like that. Remy Ma even dropped those messages showing Clarissa allegedly begging Papoose to call her and spend time with her. You know, texts like, "Why won't you tell me you love me?" or "Where are you at?" And Remy posted them to embarrass her and basically say he doesn't want you. And according to that story, Remy was also revealing that Papoose supposedly had another woman he was actually interested in. The woman reportedly lived out in California. Apparently, she worked in credit repair. In fact, the claim was that she was helping Papoose fix his credit situation because Remy had already been telling him to leave the house in North Carolina, but he didn't really have the money to make that move yet. So the story goes that he had this other woman helping him get his finances together so he could eventually move out. Meanwhile, Clarissa suddenly appeared in the picture looking extremely determined and reportedly even left her fiancé, Tony, to pursue him. And honestly, shout out to Tony, because from the outside looking in, he seemed like he fit her energy a lot better. He didn't compete for attention, and he allowed her to shine in her lane. But once Papoose stepped into the picture, all kinds of drama followed. Baby mama issues, domestic violence allegations, and questions about his career and income. And now people online are saying Clarissa is starting to look desperate, which is wild considering she's one of the biggest names in women's boxing. And when you're positioned as the face of women's boxing, critics say showing weakness publicly can change how people view you. Yeah, wow. Especially with all of this happening during Women's History Month, which just adds another layer to the conversation. That was definitely some serious backstory. So according to what Tasha K was saying, the woman from California is allegedly a credit repair specialist. The claim is that when Remy Ma was trying to push Papoose out of the house, he was scrambling to get his credit fixed. And allegedly, that woman was one of the people helping him get his finances straight. The idea was that once everything was fixed, he could leave Remy's place and stop sleeping on the couch. But right in the middle of all that, here comes Clarissa Shields reportedly blowing up his phone. Messages like, "Why can't we be together? Why can't we be seen publicly? And why won't you answer my calls?" So when you fast forward the situation, it almost looks like Papoose found himself surrounded by attention and influence. Some people even think the fame and publicity might be clouding his judgment a little bit. Because from what critics say, once the cameras stop rolling and the spotlight fades, his presence seems to disappear just as quickly. So according to Tasha K, at least one alleged side woman has now been exposed in this growing web of relationships people claim Papoose has been juggling. Meanwhile, Clarissa Shields continues clapping back at critics online and going off on people across social media. Now, when it comes to the actual boxing match, here's the part that really confused me. How do you admit you didn't watch the full fight but still try to break down what happened? It's one thing to see a few clips or highlights floating around online, but if you're going to analyze the fight, you should probably watch every round first. I mean, seriously, the match wasn't even that long. So how can anyone give detailed commentary about something they didn't fully watch? You know what I'm saying? Honestly, the fight itself wasn't even that bad to watch. I never got the impression that Clarissa Shields was out there ducking Franchón Cruz the whole time. To me, it looked more like Franchón simply ran out of gas toward the later rounds. But what people didn't know at the time was that she reportedly had a bad knee, a bad shoulder, and even an injured ankle going into that fight. On top of that, she may have been dealing with pain medication and all that tape wrapped around her knee, which clearly suggested she was trying to manage the injury and push through the match anyway. Now, when you add that context into the conversation, it definitely changes the perspective a little bit. Because if Clarissa Shields was fighting someone who wasn't at 100% physically, critics will say she probably should have secured a knockout. Franchón Cruz by that point wasn't operating at 100% physically, so some people argue that it should have been a straightforward knockout situation. There really shouldn't have been a reason for the fight to stretch out across as many rounds as it did.
And what's interesting is that during the interview, they briefly mentioned how the two fighters supposedly made up after the match. But it sounds like they weren't fully aware of all the social media drama that's still unfolding behind the scenes. Because trust me, there's still a lot of online back and forth happening right now. And honestly, there are a couple more videos worth breaking down just to unpack the rest of the chaos that's still going on. But regardless of all that, one thing Tasha K seems very clear about is how Papoose fits into the situation. She appears to believe that Papoose is actually damaging Clarissa Shields' brand more than helping it. In her opinion, he brings way too much controversy with him wherever he goes. Over the years, there have been plenty of stories surrounding Papoose that people say were quietly brushed under the rug. And a lot of that probably happened because fans loved seeing him and Remy Ma together as a couple for so long. Now though, the same type of drama people once ignored is starting to resurface again. And the longer this situation continues, the more skeletons people claim are falling out of the closet. For example, an old story from 2017 has started circulating again about an alleged love child. At the very least, people were talking about a possible side relationship while Remy Ma was serving time in prison. And now new details keep popping up little by little, explaining why Papoose might have felt pressure to publicly acknowledge the situation with Clarissa Shields. Because some people believe his original plan was to keep everything looking professional on the surface. That way, he could still maintain appearances while quietly continuing his situation with the woman helping him repair his credit. But now things appear to be shifting because he's becoming more publicly connected to Clarissa Shields, especially with rumors about the upcoming Zeus show floating around. Then there's the other big question floating through the internet right now. Did Clarissa Shields allegedly cheat on her former fiancé Tony Rich with Papoose? That's where things get even more complicated. And according to Tasha K, she personally doesn't view Papoose as a traditionally masculine presence in the situation. Instead, she believes he's the type of man who attaches himself to the more successful partner in the relationship so he can maintain a comfortable lifestyle. Meanwhile, she speaks about Tony Rich in a completely different way. She describes him as more of a traditional man's man and someone who carried himself with a stronger masculine presence. In fact, she's openly said she'd like to bring Tony Rich onto her platform for an interview. And honestly, it's pretty clear why she wants that conversation. She wants to dig deeper into everything surrounding Clarissa Shields and hear Tony's side of the story directly. Her goal seems to be comparing how Tony Rich treated Clarissa versus what she believes Papoose is doing now. According to her narrative, Tony represented stability, while Papoose represents drama and manipulation playing out publicly. That's why people online say this whole situation feels like a scheme unfolding right in front of everyone, especially when it comes to how Clarissa Shields is being positioned in all of this. And speaking of the internet, that parody skit floating around recently had people laughing for a reason. In the skit, a fake version of Papoose appeared with a drawn-on mustache and beard. The character was jokingly counting Clarissa Shields' money like it was his paycheck. Then the punchline hit with someone saying, "My man finally got a job." The jokes kept going too. They were throwing around lines like, "Best rapper alive, according to nobody." And honestly, that's the kind of chaotic commentary that shows just how messy the whole situation has become online. At this point, it feels like the internet has turned the entire storyline into a running joke. Then, Tasha K doubled down with another claim about Papoose. According to her, he's not actually trying to fight anyone connected to Clarissa Shields. The only person she believes he would really step up for is if Remy Ma were involved with another man. And people point to past incidents as proof of that energy. For example, the situation involving Easy the Block Captain reportedly included accusations about trackers being placed on vehicles and physical confrontations happening behind the scenes. So critics say there's clearly a pattern of him reacting strongly when it comes to Remy Ma, but they argue that same intensity doesn't seem to appear when the situation involves Clarissa Shields, because according to that perspective, she's not the person he would truly risk everything over. Instead, the theory some people are pushing is that he's moving strategically, flying back and forth, handling business, and keeping certain connections active behind the scenes. Meanwhile, the speculation continues that his so-called credit repair connection is still in the picture, the idea being that he could potentially stack up resources connected to Clarissa Shields' success while quietly planning his next move. And here's the question that keeps coming up again and again. Through all this chaos, one detail still hasn't been clearly answered. Where is the divorce from Remy Ma? Because if everything people are saying is true, then the paperwork should exist somewhere. So the real question people keep asking is simple. Where is the actual divorce decree? You know what I'm saying? Remy Ma already went on record telling him to simply sign the divorce papers. She made it clear she didn't want anything from him at all. And that statement came out even before Papoose tried that questionable filing situation people were talking about last year. Remy Ma even explained during a live stream that she and her legal team had already prepared the divorce paperwork. She said straight up that she wasn't asking for money and he wasn't getting anything from her either. All he had to do was sign the papers and finalize it. But according to her, he refused to sign, and that's where things stayed stuck.
So with all that said, that's basically where the situation currently stands. And honestly, this is exactly why everyone keeps talking about it. Because Clarissa Shields has practically turned herself into a trending topic almost every single day with the way she keeps responding online. A lot of people are watching this play out and saying the behavior just doesn't look normal. It really raises questions. How do you go on the internet talking about wanting to have a baby and planning to surprise Papoose with a pregnancy on his birthday while rumors say he's still entertaining other women? Especially when people like Franchón Cruz have already claimed that Clarissa might actually be at the bottom of the list of women connected to him. So when viewers try to point that out, they get confused seeing Clarissa jump online and start arguing with everyone instead of stepping back and analyzing the situation.
And that's another point Tasha K brought up during the conversation. She believes Papoose enjoys being seen in the spotlight and showing up in the videos, because let's be honest, this is probably the most attention he has received since his public relationship with Remy Ma. In fact, some people would argue he's getting even more publicity now because of all the drama surrounding Clarissa Shields. But the problem many viewers keep noticing is that the energy looks extremely one-sided. Time after time, people say Papoose seems eager to leave as soon as the camera stopped rolling. There was even that moment where he couldn't sit through a simple food review video. Instead, he ordered takeout or had one of Clarissa's friends cook something rather than her making the meal herself. And honestly, moments like that just add more fuel to the internet conversation. Because when people watch those clips, they start questioning the authenticity of the relationship even more. That's why every new detail keeps spreading online so quickly. So with that being said, that's the latest update on this situation. If you've been following this story, you already know it's getting messier by the day. But now, I want to hear what you think about everything that's been happening. Drop your thoughts down in the comments below and let's talk about it. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates like this. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you're alerted the moment new content drops on the channel. And with that, we've officially reached the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one very soon.